good to have you. And of course, we have an amazing guest. She's sitting pretty. So usually we go for a tip before introducing the guest. But because our guest is in the studio, I will just get into the introduction. Her name is Oreoluwa Olubori Paul. She is a transformational leader. She's a woman empowerment advocate. She's a coach, a human resource professional, and also the founder of Truth Carries Movement. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Oreoluwa. How you doing?
I'm good. Super excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited. And trust me, the topic we're talking about today is what excites me the more.
Absolutely. Interesting.
Yes, interesting topic. Okay, well, the topic we are talking about today is love in every word. And of course, we know there is a movie on YouTube by Bolaji Ogumola, right?
Yeah, that's Omoni Uboli.
Okay, it's Omoni Oboli movie.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Omoni Oboli movie, Love in Every Word. So we'll be talking about some aspects, some very key aspects in that movie. And if you've not seen that movie, you need to watch that movie because that's what we're talking about today. But yes, before we start cracking, before we start talking, let's quickly go for our first tip. And of course, our first tip is tips for good relationship. It's not necessarily a relationship like a man and a woman. Could be your friend, it could be your colleague. You could have good relationship with people. So this is how you can have a good relationship. So let's quickly take that tip, and of course we'll be right back to continue the program with Oreoluwa. Stay with us, don't go nowhere.
Tips on relationship. Building and maintaining healthy relationship is an important part of looking after our mental health. Here are 6 top tips to support you with yours. The first tip is get to know yourself. Take the time to appreciate yourself and get in touch with your emotions to be able to express yourself clearly and more effectively. Not knowing how to regulate your emotions and express them healthily can negatively affect your mental well-being. Number 2, put in the work. Healthy relationships are not found but built. A healthy relationship needs commitment and willingness to be accommodating to each other's needs. Number 3, set and respect boundaries. Setting boundaries is not only about what you don't like or what you don't want in your relationships, but also about letting the people around you know what you appreciate. Think about and let others know where your boundaries are, respecting your time alone, for example. Doing this can take the pressure off your relationship to commit to anything unrealistic. Number 4, talk and listen. All relationships have disagreement, and that's okay. What matters is how you talk and listen to one another. Listen to understand rather than listening to respond. Don't be afraid to express your emotions or vulnerabilities with people you trust. Number 5, let go of control. A lot of life is about how we react to our experiences and encounters. Knowing that you can only really control what you do and not what anyone else does will save you time and stress. Number 6, reflect and learn. If you have a healthy way of expressing your feelings, you're able to react to other people's in a healthy way. Being angry with someone often comes from a place of feeling hurt and upset. If you can recognize that, you will communicate it and build better relationships with others or your spouse. Reflect on the relationships that work best in your life. What qualities do these relationships have, and how can you bring these qualities into other relationships?
Okay, all right. Welcome back. Yes, you're still watching Women's Corner, and that is a tip for good relationship. Trust me, if you follow that tip, you will be able to, have good relationship with people. And yes, like I said, we still have Oreoluwa in the house, and we are talking about love in every word. So let me start first. My first question is it nice? Is it morally standard? Does it make you lose value if you decide to sponsor your relationship in terms of building up a man, trying to always invest in him. And don't you think somehow, I don't know, I feel like a man would rather seek help from someone else than get it
Yeah.
from his
True.
woman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's coming from the movie, that was the first step to
Yeah,
she
the
having a
first
wrong
thing,
relationship.
yes.
Yeah, so what's your take on that?
So I would say that it's really interesting that we find that some women think that it is okay to sponsor a relationship. Now, it's different if you are supporting the person. It's different because somehow in relationships there's a need for you supporting one another.
Yeah.
Any relationship that is symbiotic, it's cool,
Mhm.
right? But when it's something that it's one person always giving, then there's a problem. In the case of the movie, we see that she's giving, and this person seems insensitive. This person seems entitled. This person is not even adding value. I mean, what pissed me off the most was he did not show remorse.
At all.
So I would say that's like bad investment. But you find that there are women like that who think that it's okay to just keep giving with the mindset that this person is going to change.
Because that was her mindset.
Exactly. Some of us love to the point that it's unhealthy. And we can't really blame a lot of people because there are reasons why people act the way they do. Do you understand? So because of perhaps the relationship that she's had in the past, how she's brought up, the things that she has seen, she's just been able to think that people would come around, just keep
People
pouring
change,
into them
yeah.
and all of that. But I just think that she chose the wrong guy because for me, there's just already a lot of red flags. He wasn't showing remorse. He felt entitled because you had just lost money and you had the effrontery as a man. When it's not even good as a woman. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, as a man, to be confident, to say, can you give me
Some more money when
had
you just lost
it?
Wow. That's
If
a whole
he
lot.
was crying, if there was some kind of pain, he gave it time, he appealed to her, I would say, okay, maybe. So my answer will be that it's not healthy in any relationship. If it's a guy that keeps giving and this person is not accountable, this person is not utilizing your fund, it's not, nobody's going to be happy.
True.
So to answer the question, I mean, don't fund him.
Yeah.
Don't fund his irresponsibility.
Not that you can actually fund him.
Yeah, but don't fund
His irresponsibility. I think I'll take that one because sometimes you might need to fund your man
Yes.
if he doesn't have it, because that could be one of the greatest investment of all time.
Absolutely.
You understand? And that could build him up and he could become a better person. But you need to still watch out. Is this person responsible?
Yeah.
You can't lose that huge amount of money and you've not even allowed her to digest that you just lost that money and you're already demanding for more.
Insensitive.
Very insensitive. Okay, so another part is the part where having good friends come in. At this period, I'm certain her friends were also telling
her
about the relationship, like why is she always, and she's like, please, I think the guy doesn't cheat. The only irresponsibility he has is he doesn't know how to manage money. I feel so.
Okay.
I feel so because I think from indications of maybe her friends talking to her, she's like, please. She's not trying to get those advice because she feels like, oh, he will still change. It's just the money. It's not about the cheating now. It's just that he spends a lot of money. So tell me, the place of friends in a relationship, how best do you think a friend can get so involved in your life that will help you push further into your relationship or pull you away from a bad relationship?
Okay, awesome. So the first question is, how involved should your friends be in your relationship? Like I'd always say that there are different people come into your life at different times for different reasons, right? problem begins that you begin to have problems when you put the wrong friend in the wrong place. You know, so there are friends that you shouldn't bring into that circle of you sharing intimate conversations, because anything about your relationship, how you feel, the person they can know who you're going out with, but when it's like deep things about the person's, you get what I mean?
Yeah, too deep.
The deep things, you know, there are people that you may not be able to trust that information with.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say that there are friends that you can bring into that circle, but those friends should have over time proven themselves to be trustworthy of certain information. Not just that. I always say that I have friends that when I'm using my common sense, I just need to speak with them. They just dash me their own sense. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so you need those kind of people that would always be able to see things from a different perspective and then tell you. So I would say it's okay to bring your friends in, because we need people. I always say you can't do life alone, you know, but then the question is, who is the friend? What value can the friend bring to the table? Her friends are valuable
Very
because
valuable.
they were always, you know,
Yeah.
speaking. So that's really it for me.
Really, I don't know, a lot of people might not really understand where we're coming from, but as much as we're talking about a movie, we're trying to bring up the points that really matters, and which, trust me, that movie is very educative.
Yes.
But it's something that some people just watch and enjoy. It's something that you need to think about some of those stands. Now, let's take also from the part whereby parents tend to look for spouse for you. They tend to hook you up. Let me use that word. And trust me, I don't know, but from, you know, asking people, let's just say 7 out of them will tell you, my parents can pick my spouse for me.
Okay.
While the other 3, they're saying, yes, my parents can pick my spouses because they must have done their investigations. They must have found out who the person is. And trust me, there's no parent that wants you to get married to someone who is irresponsible, especially money. Your parents must look for somebody who is wealthy. You might not love the person. The person might not be so handsome, actually. But they feel like, okay, this person can give you security when it comes to money, financial security, can protect you, somebody that would never allow even a fly or mosquito to bite you, perch on you for that matter. And somebody that they believe can listen to them. Like, if I talk to this person, can listen to them. I'm not saying listening to the wife or listening to you, they are introducing, is them. Like, if they say, don't do this, the person will do that. So do you think it's wise, it's wisdom to still follow that route of parents choosing spouses, or we should choose our spouses, make our mistakes, make the amendment, or make no mistakes at all?
Okay, interesting. So the question is, should our parents be allowed to choose our spouse? If I take it back as to how some of our parents even got married, you know, I have this friend who'd say that her dad was ready to get married, and so he goes to the village and says that, and he says, who is the, name a good family that can get married. And like, okay, among our daughters, this is the one that is free. They just know that the family, they're respectable, they're a good family, just know that good children, and that's how they just, and they were married till they were old, till the dad died, and there's so many other stories like that. I mean, it worked then. Even in the Bible, you would see.
Yeah.
Do you understand how that? I mean, go and pick a wife, just like Abraham, just like get a wife for my son, and all of these things. Yes, but I wouldn't advise that now. I'm not even sure it still happens now that your parent will choose a spouse for you, because there are a lot of things to consider. We're in a time, and we're in a time that there's a lot of things that involves choosing a spouse. It's not a point a hand, I pick this person for you, and then you match. There's just a lot of things that are going on. If you're confident that your parents, you trust their judgment, number one, you also know that they know you.
And they know what is good for you.
What is good for you.
They know what you can.
They know what exactly. If it works, it's fine. But Not me, please. No way.
Okay. So, but, you just made a point now because I was going to ask the question. I'm like, but you know, if we are saying we're writing that off that parents shouldn't pick spouses for us, in a way, I feel like it was really helping then, and I feel like it would have helped now. But the problem why it might not help now is because how will I put it? The society has changed.
Absolutely.
You know,
A lot of
someone can
things.
even come from a very good home,
No, it will be.
but no, well brought up, but the person refused to be brought up well. How will I put it? Like they are teaching you, culturing you, nurturing you, but you
then-
just refuse to take those learnings. So even if you are saying this person is from a good home, the person in question might not even be good. So
Yeah.
that's where I feel
Yeah.
our parents might not be
And
able
then
to.
something else is that it's also safe to say that people were more predictable in those times because the level of exposure is not as much as what we
now.
have now. So you can't. I mean,
So you don't believe for
no,
any reason our
for
parents
any
should pick
reason.
spouses.
Okay, so but then your not just your parents, your friends can play a role in your decision making.
Okay.
In the sense that they can link you up, they can suggest. Like I know this girl, I think then you get to know the person. When you speak to the person and all of those things, you realize that you might be a good match for the person. But then it can't be something that is imposed on you,
On you,
that you need to do this. This is the person that is meant for you, and all of those things. We are not in those times. You can suggest. You can link. People have met because a friend, a mutual friend recommended somebody. It really doesn't have to be real. You can meet your spouse from anywhere, but I don't think it should be imposed on anyone because eventually it's your decision.
Right.
You're the one who's going to be in the marriage,
Of course.
and you need to make that
You
decision.
need to make the decision yourself so
Absolutely.
that whatever you're going through, you won't say, Mommy, Daddy, you're the one that introduced me to him or
Absolutely.
introduced her to me. So yes, we just have to take responsibility. I have one more question I'm going to ask, but before you respond to the question, we'll go for a breakup. And my question is stemming from the fact that in that movie, you know, after the breakup, she got Odogu Parama, the one that could spend all the money. But something about the kind of love she experienced or grew up experiencing made her almost lose something very beautiful. The kind of love that every woman wants. A man that is all out for you. A man that's even understanding, even despite rubbing whatever is ego to his face. You understand? And she could not just, manage such a love. So my question is, which of course some of that came from the past relationship and the fact that the father was never in the picture per se after what happened. So the best way to understand people's love or appreciate the kind of love people are giving to you, because finally somehow maybe your kind of love is not so good. I don't want to use the word toxic because your level of love might not actually be toxic, just how you understand love. Another person understands it to, for the love to take over his or her world. So my question is, how can one get over it, get over your kind of love and appreciate the better kind of love that people are bringing to you, so you don't chase the good
other
ones
people
out. But before you respond to
Okay.
that, let's quickly go for a tip. And the tip is on how to get over someone. If you have a heartbreak or you broke somebody's heart, and it's weird because people sometimes break up with someone and they can't get over the person, but they have to break up. Well, they said a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. So yes, I do agree with that. But anyways, let's quickly go for this tip. A break it first, and after the break, we'll be playing the tip, which is to get over someone very quickly and not easy, but at least getting over the person so you can move forward. And after the tip, we'll have a break again, and we're back to the studio to continue talking about love in every word with Oroluwa. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Tips on getting over someone. Getting over someone requires new sources of meaning. Surrounding yourself with people who truly care about you is probably one of the most common pieces of advice for getting over someone. It's great advice, but it's not because you will just start to feel better and then forget about the fact that, oh yeah, you're going to be sleeping alone tonight, aren't you? And it's also not because these people provide an outlet for you to walk through the failed relationship out loud, though that doesn't hurt. No, the real reason is that connecting or reconnecting with people who care about you will start to add meaning back into your life, the meaning that was so abruptly pulled out from underneath you, like a cheap dining room rug. The first tip is see the relationship for what it was. Another way to separate yourself from your past relationship and move on is to take an objective look at what the relationship was really like. If part of the story you tell yourself is, we were so perfect for each other, or we should be together forever, why doesn't he or she see that? Then I'll bet you're falling victim to more than a few biases that you're simply not aware of. Second tip, invest in your relationship with yourself. There seems to be some debate out there about whether or not you should take some time to yourself and just be alone for a while. I think you should, and doubly so if your failed relationship was a toxic one. If your identity has been so wrapped up in a relationship that's now gone, well, it's a good time to explore who you are in context outside of that relationship. Rushing out to find someone to fill that void without really figuring out what you want and what you need. The third tip, figuring out what your needs really are. Conflicts in relationships almost always arise because one or both people aren't getting their needs met in some way. And it's often the case that those needs are either not being communicated effectively or someone's needs are being ignored. Either way, the root cause of the problem is a lack of awareness of one's needs. Relationships end when someone decides the cost of not getting their needs met is no longer bearable. Our fundamental emotional needs include 1. Status, feeling important or superior or feeling challenged. 2. Connection, feeling understood and appreciated, shared values and experiences. And 3. Security, feeling safe and reliable, also feeling trust.
Alright, welcome back. You're still watching Women's Corner, and of course that's the tip to actually help get over someone. So yes, I asked a question before the program, so we would like to get your response now.
So first of all, I'd like to even talk about the love itself.
Okay. What love means?
How she was loved in the movie.
Okay.
How that this person comes around and buys a lot of things for you. He's not just buying things for you, because there's how somebody can come and just throw money at you.
Mm-hmm.
But he was there for her emotionally. He was there for her mentally. He was there for, he helped her with her self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
You see how that her boss was always coming at her and all of that, intimidating her.
Yeah.
And then her boss calls her at an odd hour and he picks the call, speaks back at the boss.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Don't do this in real life. Anyways.
Please don't do that if you have another job, boy.
Of course, it's Odogu for her. So secured,
Okay.
So, and so we see that the next time her boss comes to the office to bully her, as I would like to say, speak to her in a rough manner, we see that she was about to apologize for what had happened,
mm-hmm.
or sorry about what happened. And the boss just says, oh, make sure he doesn't do this again, of course, in her rude manner. And she stands up and speaks for herself. I was happy to see that,
Mm-hmm.
right? I was so happy to see that. So we see that people may just see the money part, People may
Right.
just see that Odogu Parara comes off as somebody who comes and throws money
Yeah.
at you. But something I really want to point out the fact that the lady herself was engaged with her life.
Right.
She was working. And if when she asked him, why did you choose me over everyone in the village? He's like, look, I like that you're ambitious. I like that you're doing something for
For
yourself. All right, because women should not sit down and say that they are waiting for Odogun Parara to take their sorrows away. Marriage is supposed to bring you happiness. Marriage is supposed to complete you. Marriage is, it's sort of like a new identity, but it shouldn't be. Like, my friend and I would say that, relationship in general should not be your ticket out of poverty.
Right. Very true. Very true.
It shouldn't. Get yourself busy with something.
With something.
Okay, and then we see, okay, he comes around and shows her a love that she has not witnessed before. It's so important that we know that there's a lot of things that build us up and make us who we are, okay? The family we have come from, they often say that when you get married to somebody, you're not just getting married to that person. You're getting married to the person's family, the person's past experiences, the person's past relations, because people come with a lot of baggages.
True. And you don't just expect them like that and not take the baggage. It's not possible.
Exactly.
It's part of the
They
package.
come with a lot of baggages, and so we see that this woman already has a mental conditioning that is already not healthy. All right, her past relationship showed that she was coming from somewhere that her perspective of what it means to love, was different. Her dad had showed, she said that he reminds her of, her dad and all of these things. And at the end of the day, the question is, how should she heal from all of these things? Number one is for her to realize that, girl, you have a problem. Like, you're not doing something right. And so in that movie, while we may not have seen her being self-aware, her sitting down and saying that, see, babe, why do you love this way? What has happened in the past? You're not responsible for the decisions of your dad.
Of your dad, true.
You're not responsible. It had nothing to do with you. Your dad made his decision, and you have to make your own decision. And that you don't say that, don't allow the mistakes of anybody limit who you can be and who you should become.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's always beautiful when you meet a healthy person, somebody who is happy in themselves, who understands, who is secure in themselves, and who also knows how to give love and receive love.
Yeah.
In real life, if you meet Odogu Parara and you are doing the way she was doing,
You will lose it immediately.
you
That's
just
a
stop
movie.
picking the call, you just stop, and
He has no time because he will tell you he has a lot of people.
it's to take God,
that he could pick.
the grace of God, and all of these things. I mean, when it comes to relationship, there's no perfect situation because people are different and all of this. But then again, we see these patterns already is faulty. So I would say that it's better for you to sit down. Number one, realize that there's something wrong. I like that her friends kept speaking with her because her friends were pointing to her that, babe, you're not thinking straight.
True.
You're not thinking straight. This person is everything. So what's your problem with him? You say you don't like his what? How he speaks.
So you want a picture perfect person.
And all of these things. And so sit down, think about it. There's something wrong with me. You need to go and see a therapist
Seek for
if
help.
you need to seek for help. Sometimes, going to see a therapist might be going too far. It might just need you being self-aware, realizing that there's a problem. Do you understand? I begin to find ways, to get yourself back, change your belief system, because the belief system is what is faulty. You believe that in a relationship you have to be the one providing. You don't think that you want to be independent. You don't want to be like the soft person. One thing I love so much about the movie, like I'm just going here and all of that, but then it's a really interesting topic. I like the fact that the Odogu guy came with his masculine energy.
Yeah. He's a complete man for himself. So he's not trying to look for a woman that will make him complete. No, he feels complete.
No.
So he just needs somebody else to
Absolutely,
add
just
against
cultivate.
Yeah.
And so we see that he came with his masculine energy. And one thing I know from experience, even with my husband, is that when a man comes with his masculinity, he comes to be like, this is my territory. You can calm down. I can take care of you. I can pray for you. I can protect you. The woman begins to settle in her own feminine energy. There's no independent woman, boss lady, that really sees a boss man. Whether it's in money, because sometimes the man might not really have so much resources, and you might even have more resources than him. But he can make up for other areas.
Yeah.
He's emotionally available. He can, he can speak for you and all of those things. And so you see that a woman begins to soften up. I would say that I used to think I was independent.
Oh, yeah.
Or I met my husband being independent.
And you knew you were not independent. See, trust me, you always make a point, please don't divert.
Yes.
Because a lot of people do not understand it. Some people feel like when you say you're independent, it means that you can be controlled or you cannot be managed. And trust me, it's a lie. I say, when you meet a man that is complete, an independent woman will become like a girl.
Absolutely.
Trust me. There's no independence.
That's it. And so she was not used to this femininity.
Yeah.
But the thing was coming out. Just
it was easy.
It was
Just
easy.
coming out naturally.
It was, so the thing is, beauty about a woman is that she's a garden. Once you nurture her properly, you're going to see her blossom. But then if you're being abusive and all of that, you're going to see the worst part of her. So she needs to reassess her mindset, think about the things that happened in her life before that makes her have those mindsets. Do you understand what I mean? If I have been heartbroken before, I can have build a belief system that says that all men are terrible. And I can live my entire life till I die believing that because of that single experience. So you have to, number one, like I said, I want to reiterate that you have to, number one, realize that you have an issue. Talk to yourself about it. Number two, go back in time, think about it. Who has suggested this belief system? Who treated me a certain way that made me have this belief system? Then you sit down and deal with that experience and say, okay, this happened, but dissociate yourself from it and say that you are free to love again. You are free to live again. You are free to be a soft woman. Do you understand? And then it's also important that after you renew your mind, your belief system, and all of these things, and then you decide, you relearn.
Yeah.
Just tell yourself, I have learned the wrong way of loving. I want to relearn what it really means to love.
Okay. I wish you could keep talking. I told you
Yes.
there won't be time again. Our time is already up, actually. That's why.
Okay.
But anyways, I'd like to say thank you very much for being in the studio and for giving so much in-depth and insight into love in every word. And of course, I'm saying this again to those people who have not watched the movie, go and watch the movie so you have a better understanding of where our questions and conversations are emanating from. Yes, but once again, thank you so much for coming to the studio. I hope you enjoyed the program.
I did. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right, and I hope our viewers also did it. I'm sure you did, because now I've already given you a movie to see for the weekend.